Okay, good day, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're at in the world. This is Wolverine. I'm going to go through a shortened version of another channel break strategy within our channel break family. This is uh, part of the 1-minute MACD scalping opportunities, and I'm going to show a follow-up. I'll go through this strategy real quickly. And I'm going to go through a follow-up screenshot from a live trade that we took in our conference room on demonstrating how really how simple this strategy works using just three indicators which are free from your broker: the MACD indicator, your trend line indicators, 60 SMA trend line, and then resistance support indicators, which you receive from us at Salvation Trading, which is really the key of the success, is knowing where those channels are likely to be, where your resistance supports are going to be, and we're just trading in between the resistance supports using the MACD, and we'll show the MACD and knowing where the trend is at in the market. So we'll go through that. This is again an abbreviated version. There is a lengthy version of the MACD indicator with much more detail available if you become a trial member, which is a free 10-day free trial. Just go to salvationtrading.com and you can get that free trial. So just go to www.salvationtrading.com and request a 10-day trial, and we'll get you set up with that. And that'll get you access to all of the benefits of a standard member for 10 days, including all your daily trade reports coming to you every day, and with trade suggestions, and all the training modules, and then access to the conference rooms, which happen 3 times a day. The first 2 hours of every trading session, we have conferences. Okay, so let's get right into this. And this is what you receive every day: a daily report with data giving different types of trade methods, but we're going to focus primarily on this channel resistance support levels. And you can see all these numbers here, and these are all where the likelihood of the channels to develop during the day on all of these particular pairs. Okay, so let's go through the strategy quickly here, so that we can give you an idea of how this functions. So what we look for are on the 1-minute scalping entry checklist is what we call rules of engagement. Now this is the one trading with the trend. Okay, we do have another method within the strategy of trading against the trend using the MACD, but that's in another video. You're trading with the trend, and this is the progression that we look at, and it's very systematic, but very easy to learn. And we just go through a checklist. Well, the first we look are we trading with the 5-minute trend line, right? Then is price testing known resistance or support levels. Again, those are those levels that we provide, and you'll have those. You typically will plot those out on your platform, your trading platform, so you know when those levels are getting tested. And then is the 1-minute MACD lines, are they converged at extremes or testing a neutral line? And here, remember, the greater the extreme, the greater the potential for a successful trade. And then is the 1-minute MACD fast moving average crossing over the slow moving average? Now again, these two items, again, you can get much more detail if you go to the website and become a trial member, and you get there's much more, and you go through the 1-minute MACD training module, which is much more lengthy but much more detailed than what we have here right now. And then make sure there's no high impact data coming out. And then lastly, are the cross pairs going to fuel your trading plan? It's very important, but again, that's also explained in our other 1-minute MACD training module in more detail. Okay, then you enter with a 10 pip stop loss, and that's the key here. It's having a This is a low risk, high reward opportunity because we're catching the momentum of the trade, and it is a scalping technique. So this is something, if you like to scalp, this is a technique you can learn real easily. And then we also have an exit strategy. Okay, when we're talking about the rules of engagement for entry, there's an exit strategy too when you're trading, again, when you're trading with the trend here. So again, very, very similar. We have a saying that for the reason that you get into a trade is the same reason that you should get out of your trade. So the same indicators you use going into that trade are the same indicators you should use to get out of that trade. So again, 1 minute MACD, now are we converged at the extremes? We're testing a neutral line on the opposite entry side. And this will be explained in the follow-up screenshot as well. Is the 1 minute MACD fast moving average now crossing over the slow moving average? If so, time to take off 70% of your position. I like to take off a small, your major investment should be taken off at that. Remember, this is to capture 10 pips or greater. So take your major investment off when you get to that 10 pip achievement. We call that a P3. That stands for positive pip production. And once you get to the 3P condition, you should be taking off major investment and allow a small portion to continue to run in case you have a running trade, a trending trade, because we are trading with the trend. So we like to see it continue to trend and take the bonus on that if we can get it. So, and then is price testing another known resistance or support level, because that's where it's likely to stall and maybe even reverse. And then you do have options at that point of placing a trailing stop. Once you're in that P3 condition, you can put a trail on. You can set your limit and walk away, put a trail on and walk away. There's a number of things you can do. That's the other advantage, I believe, that I see in this trading strategy, is that once you achieved that P3 condition and you've covered protected your capital by covering, taking a major position off, covering by moving your stop to break even or +1 after you've captured your first 10 pips, you can walk away from the trade by setting your limits and or putting a trailing stop on. All right, so here's this is a live trade that we took in a conference room on Aussie dollar. All right, now, and you can see here again, as we look through our checklist again, are we testing resistance and support? Okay, now and you saw that this is what comes out on the daily report. This red dashed line here. Now this is again, this is a line that you would receive well before price ever even achieved here. So this is a line that we knew price would be likely testing as support or resistance. Now in this case, we're looking. It came down as support, and you can see that it came through support only to come right back up to test support and test it as resistance. So as it's coming up to test as resistance, we watch our MACD lines, because the MACD lines are all about momentum. Now this red line is my fast moving average, all right, and the green line is the slow moving average. And the inputs to these indicators, again, the members and the trial members, you'll get these indicators if you sign up for a 10-day trial, and because the inputs are really important to optimize the momentum opportunity. And when you're scalping, remember, it's all about momentum when you're scalping. So here we have, as we go through our checklist, okay, we came back up and we're testing yet resistance. So we check that off. Yes, we're testing resistance. Now, is the fast moving average or our MACD lines, are they at extremes or testing the neutral line? Well, we're coming up here, and here's our neutral line right here. Okay, and we are coming up near the neutral line, so you can see we are testing the neutral line here, and the lines so we know that we have momentum turning at predetermined resistance, and now our moving average lines are converging at the neutral line, and the fast moving average is crossing short. We have, and we look at, again, in the 1 minute MACD training module, remember we have those three elements of the trigger elements, and that is convergence, crossover, and divergence. Well, we have the two moving averages are converging or pinching, and we have the fast moving average converging here and starting to cross over to the short side. to short underneath the fast moving average. And then we're starting to get divergence develop too. You can see our histogram here, and starting to see some separation. So we see this developing already to try to short the Aussie. And at the same time, we're testing resistance. Now we call this confluence of indicators. The other checklist was to see, are we trending? Are we trading with the trend? Okay, here's the 5-minute trend line. 5-minute trend line is moving short, all right, and so is the 1-minute trend line moving short. As a scalper, what I look for the main trend in my world, in the time frame, is the 5-minute trend line. So the 60 SMA on a 5-minute time frame is shorting, which tells me the sentiment of the market for the time being is still to short the Aussie over the dollar. So that's why we look for opportunities to sell on rallies. So as soon as we know we've been moving down pretty quickly here, so we're just waiting for market to come back up and test a resistance area, and the resistance area here gets tested and you can see we already start to turn back down as the MACD shows us that momentum is starting to go back to the downside, the short side here. And in this case, this gives us all the indicators we need as we went through the checklist to say, all right, time to take this short. It gives us a high probability of a short opportunity here. So we enter short at 0190. We put our 10 pip stop on with the spread, and as the MACD lines move short, you can see we also get divergence here, the two lines separating. The histogram also confirming divergence, big valleys here. And so as divergence develops, we get price also to short and momentum to pick up to the short side to our first target. Remember, try to capture that 10 pips originally. So here at 0177, we take off 70% and move our stop to break even. This way, if price were to come back up, if the market wanted to come back and test resistance again, we still have our major investment off, covered, protected. That's major. This is our P3 condition, positive pip production. So at this point, we still have some separation here on the MACD lines. We have that divergence developing or continuing as as momentum is moving down, and that continues to move price down to down to where the MACD lines are now at lower extremes. Remember, as we look at our exit strategy, we take off a major position, cover, protect our capital, and the other thing we look for to get out of the position, and this is what I like about the MACD lines with the inputs that I provide, it allows you to optimize your exit. So now, remember we said, for the same reason, the same indicators you use to get into the trade, you should use those same indicators to get out of your trade. Well, here we're at lower levels. We'll go through that exit strategy. We're at lower extremes, and we have the MACD lines now below the neutral line and the fast moving average crossing over the slow moving average. Again, here's our 3 trigger elements we look for. We know that price is likely to stall once this fast moving average line, the red line, starts to flatten. But there we have, we're at lower extremes, right? We have our convergence, the fast moving average converging with the slow moving average. We have our crossover, and already, and as soon as we have that crossover, that tells us it's time to get out of the trade. So if we follow this right up, this is where you can even see price starting to stall here. This is how you can optimize, because the market's telling you that we have a likelihood now of price starting to, the trend maybe stalling and price starting to reverse, and this is when you should take the rest of your position out of the market. But by doing that, you can see you can easily capture 13 and 8, you can easily capture 21 pips just scalping and learning how to scalp using the MACD. Okay, so that's a real brief version. Again, if you want to go to our website at www.salvationtrading.com, we'll give you much more information, get you hooked up with a 10-day free trial. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it, and looking forward to working with you. God bless, and we'll see you on the website as soon as we can.